We just got done watching episode 3 of Dune Prophecy, and man, this episode was another banger to add to the list. I have been loving everything that they've been doing with this show so far, and episode 3 continues a lot of the things that I like about this show. Last week I was talking about how I hope that we got more flashbacks in this show period, because I'm very interested in what makes, you know, Valia and Tula the women that we see once we start this show. And I'm very happy that we got to see that. And the thing that I just was not expecting was it for to be Tula that was actually the badass and was actually the one that was doing all of these crazy, creepy things that have been happening, right? Like that blew my mind for sure. But it was also really dope to see that other side of her. I really like that we get to start this episode though with not just with Valia, but also with like her apprentice that she has with her. I can't think of her name, but I love how she's very attentive to all the things that are going on around her. She's paying a lot of attention to those things. She's listening very closely. I'm happy that we got to see Lanka Vale, which is the home world of the Harkonnens. That's where we kind of start our flashback off with kind of seeing how they really are all about, the whales and all that good stuff. I really like how we were able to see that just right off the back, just showing us these things that we kind of need a little more context on when it comes to, how the Harkonnens actually survive and what they really do. They're basically whale hunters, like, and then it's interesting to see Valia basically say, yo, you don't want a better life, and always want this more, always be so greedy for what, for something else. And then, we know that becomes all the Harkonnens really care about is their greed and how much they can do. But they have a full blown operation going on here, which I thought was really interesting. It was dope to see that. I know some people may not like how they were able, that we got a backstory this week. But again, I really enjoy it because all of this show itself is in fact a backstory. So I think it works really well to get like a little bit more context for who these characters are, like overall. But we get this view of how the Harkonnen family was before, basically BV before Valia. You know what I mean? We see that they're a good family, but at the same time, you know what I mean. We were able to see that Valia has very much been hungry for more, hungry for success, hungry for a lot more than just the things that they have at this moment. Which I think was a nice way to contextualize her character and show the differences between Valia and Tula, and then also showing that her brother Griffin felt the same vibes that she did, because he very much did feel the same vibes as her. He felt the way that she did. He wanted more too. That's why he ended up dying, because he was rocking. He was actually rocking, unlike everybody else in the family, which is unfortunately, it's sad but true. They see that there's some they can't go up against House Atreides basically, so they're like, nah, bro, we just gonna leave it at that. He just gonna die, and it's like Avalia's not going for that. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going for that. And I love the way that she was just standing up for her family to not just be weirdos, not weirdos, but not just be complacent. That's what it was. I believe she said the complacency will be the death of us. And it's like, damn, it's just crazy to hear how passionate she is and how hard she goes for the things that she believes in, which is how she says she does not want to just endure, because complacency is a disease. And you can almost see the way that she's like lighting a flame within her brother, because he's like believing in what she's saying, and he's like rocking with everything that she's putting on the table as well. And I really like that, yo. I love it. I just love the way that we were able to see how Valia does have not just followers, but she's spitting shit that other people actually want to pick up. Other people actually feel the same way that she does about it. So I really like that. And it was also really a W world building and lore to find out that basically anyone that gets the voice used on them is capable of doing things that they weren't so capable of doing before. Now, I don't know if that's due to, I don't know how that could work, because she told her brother to swim, and then somehow he was just able to swim automatically, right? And that is crazy how that is even, I don't even know how that's possible, but it is, right? Like, he was sinking, he couldn't swim, and then she told him to swim, and then he was able to swim. So, I don't know if that means like, tech, like I could be like, yo, do a backflip, and then you can just do a backflip perfectly because I'm using the voice on you. I don't know if it goes into that deep, but it seems like it can possibly just overwrite someone's physical limits and or lack of knowledge that they may have. Like, I don't know if she'd be able to tell someone to speak in Japanese and they would just be able to do it with the voice. But it seems like maybe whatever capabilities you as the voice user have, if you are telling someone else to use those abilities, maybe it taps into yours or something. I don't know. I'm going crazy magic system world building here, but I really just love the way that they told us that, because that is a bit of information that I don't think we knew so much before. The fact that someone could turn in, do something that, they weren't capable of doing before. But it was a crazy transition to go from seeing that and him being like, yo, I'm gonna fight for you, to him just being laying here dead. Like, that was a crazy transition. I was not prepared for it whatsoever. It was really sad, and it was even sadder to see how they all just blamed Valia. Like, they're like, yep, you should have just shut up. We all need to be complacent because complacency means life. And it's like, damn, it's just so hard to. I mean, I don't think they're struggling. It doesn't seem like they're struggling by any means. They have a lot of food. They got a lot of, stuff. But again, they're just content with what they have, and contention. I don't think that's a word, but again, she said complacency is a disease, and it's like kind of crazy to see how the greed for the Harkonnens will become a disease in the future when we get to like Dune 1 and Dune 2, and how the Harkonnens are literally using like hover batteries attached to their back in order to move around because he's so fat and gluttonous. Right? It's like it's pretty crazy. And then again, we get another amazing moment here where Valia's like, bruh, I do not want to mourn. I want revenge for what they've done to my brother. Like, bruh, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And to see the way that she's like, I will have my revenge. And then Tula's like, bruh, I'll have my revenge. You know what I mean? I love it. I just love that. I love it, man. I love the duality between the sisters, how different they are, but also how similar they are, because they really rock for each other. They rock for the family. They rock for the things of that sort. And I think that's really cool. And I also thought it was really cool to be able to see, there's these moments where we see Valia, and she basically has the echoings of her, of her ancestors running through her mind at all times, but she's also like listening to everyone around her and paying attention to them. I don't know if you guys know this, but all of the Mother Superiors actually have that ability to hear their ancestors basically at all times. Like, it's not something they turn on and off. It's like like if they're just sitting there quietly, the ancestors are like, at least I don't think it's something that they can turn on and off. Let me not get to lying here, because I am not a Dune head. But, I think that it was just really nice to see the way that all of the sisters are like, yo, we rock for you. You don't have to worry about it at all. We're rocking for you 100%. But we always see her. We always see the apprentice looking very, I don't know if fondly is the word, but she's always looking very intentively, trying to pay all the attention. Like, look at her in the background. She is literally just staring at her. Like, she's staring at them the entire time, just locked into the conversation. What a weirdo. But also, it makes me think, is she a part of something? Like, is she a part of, the evilness? Is she a part of the plot, or whatever the case may be? I mean, as soon as they say Desmond Hart's name, they flash over to her. Like, and I don't know what that may mean. Right? It's very possible that everybody got informants everywhere. That's actually kind of how it seems. But we move on from that to finding out that they've been like Tula has been keeping the young girl alive against I guess proper protocol, which means they're supposed to basically allow them to pull the plug, allow them to let go, and go on and live their life, and we basically see how Tula is not with that. And I think it might also be a part of her being so scarred, being so scarred from the thing that she did to the Atreides family, because it may be hard for her to euthanize someone she cares about after euthanizing an entire tribe, family, whatever you want to call it. But, that was pretty dope to see. And I want to know what that means. I want to know where we go with that. I want to know where her story goes. But, she looks into the spice tea, and it gives her an idea. And that idea is to maybe it's not time to let her go just yet. Not the best idea, but it was an idea nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? It was an idea nonetheless. So, and then we get an awesome flashback to Tula now, right? Young Tula. And young Tula just seems to be just a normal girl with a normal boy, you know what I mean? They're all lovey-dovey. They care for each other. And I really loved this entire scene. I think it was beautiful. I think it also did some good foreshadowing to what was going to be happening and occurring next, you know. But poor guy, you know what I mean? He was definitely head over heels for Tula. He had no idea that he was about to meet the, you know what I mean? But it happened nonetheless. And I feel sorry for Bruh because he really liked her. We have this amazing moment from Tula teaching the young boy of the of the tribe. Basically, she's like teaching him like, hey, this is how you do this, and she even shows him the poison sack that she later uses to poison everybody, which I thought I like that. You know, she's like, yo, you got to watch this because it's enough to kill a person, already giving us some good foreshadowing to what's going to come next. And then later on, after we see this happening, and then unfortunately Ori's horse is, dying right here. You know what I mean? She has the quick idea. She's like, oh, I'm about to poison everybody with this poison. Let me just use this to euthanize the horse properly, which is crazy that she gets the idea to end this horse's suffering in a nice manner because she's about to basically kill everyone that's here. Pretty diabolical, pretty insane, but it's happening nonetheless, and I'm here for it. I'm here for how diabolical this episode was entirely. Look, it even shows that she still has all of those poison things right there in the same bowl, and it seems like there would just be a reason to get rid of those, or they would kind of figure out a way to get rid of those, especially because they're just so poisonous and stuff. But she has them holding on to them so she can make it happen. And look, bro's even confused. He's like, wait, how did you even know to do that? It's because she about to kill you and your family, my boy, doing the same exact thing. That's how she knows. And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's diabolical. I just was not ready for that. I wasn't ready to see this. This is a very sad moment. RIP to the random horse. We knew the little, but we loved you nonetheless. RIP, my guy. F's in the chat to pay your respect for random horse number 1. But I really enjoyed the way that we were able to, see her. I don't want to say, yeah, I just like that we were able to see how she is or how she was and what made her who she is today. And every time she says, yo, I ain't scared to make some shit happen, now we understand why she's saying that. You know what I mean? This episode was a very contextualizing episode. If you didn't like it because it was in the past, it's okay, because the past is what builds the future in the first place. So this story that we got here is going to continue to world build and continue to give us understanding of what will happen next. We basically got this episode to understand how much of a line there is drawn between Valia, who is a mother superior, and the rest of the Harkonnens, because clearly they're not rocking with her. So now when we see her pops, when we see Papa, what do I call Pappy? When we see Pappy in the next episode, right, we're gonna understand why he's on straight demon time and he wants nothing to do with Valia, and it's gonna be because of all these things that we've seen in this episode here, and we find out that she's basically always been a menace. So it all works together, you know what I mean? It's all connected. It was dope to see that. I didn't realize that Valia was the first to go also, which is cool. I thought they went there together, but we see that Valia kind of had already started her little, not her cult, but her little clique there, and I like that. We get to see the day-to-day lives of the Bene Gesserit at this lower level, if you will, and I think it gives us a lot of context as to what is going to be continuing to go on within the rest of this season. I mean, it's just a few contexts. And I love this moment right here where it's just a battle of wills of who is able to give away their basically earthly attachments. Something that we see very common in these, I don't want to say cult-like, but yeah, cult-like, monk-like, wizard-like things. They always have to they have to let go of their earthly attachments somehow, some way. And her earthly attachments was revenge on the Harkonnens that are not the Harkonnens, but on the Atreides that killed her brother. So I understand why she couldn't let that shit slide, because I don't know if I would have been able to let it slide either, like, just to be honest. And I love the way that we get this, we see OG basically pull up, and the first thing she does is she's staring at our girl Valia up there doing her thing. You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, oh, she sees our girl Valia up there, and she's like, yo, come with me. Let me help you out. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I like that. I like to see how that relationship was established. I wanted to know why she chose her over her daughter. And we got a lot of that answers right here. We got to see, again, Valia used the voice, know that she literally is the creator. She's only used it a couple of times. And we also got the context that the entire reason behind the sisterhood, who will later become the Bene Gesserit, is, the genetic not modification, but yeah, the genetic modification of lineages in order to control everyone in the galaxy, which is diabolical, but I love that. I love that. I mean, I feel like we don't see things like this happen enough. Um, but I love it. I think it's dope. I think it's working. And I think it was really dope to see the way that OG really took Valia under her wing and wanted to like teach her the ways of not necessarily the Force, because Valia has created that at this moment, the voice. I mean, but you know, it's something very similar to that. And then we get a name drop for Machine Wars. I mean, they were just world building galore in this episode, like left and right, and it was so fantastic to see. I was so nervous at this scene with Tula and Ori because I didn't know if it was about to get creepy or if it was about to get freaky. But lo and behold, it was about to get both because she freaked her way in there to be a creep and kill everybody. And that is just not the vibe that I was going to give Tula. I didn't know that was the hype that Tula was on. I thought Tula was like a, you know, not a good like, yeah, I thought Tula was the nice one. But again, ain't these people in this show, man. Ain't nobody good. Ain't nobody the good person. Ain't nobody right. Everybody is bad. They're all evil. They are not to be trusted. They are not to be, you know, none of it. You are not to do none of the things that are to be done, you know, because it's like they about to get freaky, and then after she's literally killing everybody at the same point. I'm pretty sure that the stuff that they put in their body dye to put over their bodies was probably mixed with the stuff that they had. So, you know, that was just crazy. And she was putting it on young brother too. That's what was wild. It was wild 2 times because she was really putting it on that man. And then when he woke up, she was like, yo, I'm sorry, but there's just things that got to be done because, you feel me, I'm a Harkonnen and you killed my brother. So I just had to come back and kill your entire family. Your entire lineage is gone because you killed my brother. Congratulations, you played yourself. And now I'm about to kill you too after giving you a good night. Like, bruh, Tula's on demon time. She is the one that we need to watch for the rest of the show. It's not necessarily Valia in the same way. I need to know how Valia is going to feel about the decisions that she made while she was gone and keeping Homegirl alive, because there is definitely something there that we could get. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely a way that we could get that information somehow, some way, from some type of thing. And I'm excited to see what that context is as well. But we continue to get more. We get to spend more time with Valia and OG Mother Superior. And I love her. I'm so happy that we get these flashbacks of her as, you know, being her mentor, because it's just dope. And I love it, bro. It just gives me good vibes. And then of course, you know, Valia is telling her little posse that she has everything that's going on, what Mother Raquella was saying and what she wants from her. And Mother Raquella, it shows that she is, you know, Raquella, Mother R, is showing that she knows everything that's going on. You know, she is not just being in the dark. You know, she knows what's happening with all the ladies under her, whether it be her daughter, whether it be her protege. She knows what's going on for sure. And I love the reaction of Valia, you know, Valia using the voice on her friends. It's basically the reaction that I think any friends would have if another friend got, you know, powers and they use them in this kind of way. Just like, it was just like, oh my God, I really like that. I really like that. And then they just start cracking up laughing because they're girls, you know what I mean? Like, and they're chilling. It's like, yo, that's dope as hell. And then we find out that OG Moms has been watching this whole time. And I love the fact that she takes all of this information and she puts it in front of them and makes them do the ceremony right now, even though she knows Valia isn't ready, even though she probably knows her daughter isn't ready either, right? She's still doing it as a way to kind of train everyone and to allow them to get stronger and to pay more attention. And, you know, obviously her daughter's followers and her, like, they see the entire situation much differently than Valia or anyone else does. And it was just crazy to see the differences of how everyone felt, and how even, you know, Mother Superior says here, she's like, yo, having these factions, having all these things going on between us, it splits us as a sisterhood, and that is not what's supposed to be happening. We're supposed to be healed. We're supposed to be here rocking. We're supposed to be here doing the damn thing and making sure that we're locked in, clocked in, and we're rocking. You know what I mean? And after this is actually when Valia cannot go through with it, because she still has, you know, she has that revenge on her heart that she still has to get and go over. And Mother Superior knows it. She's like, all right, bet, go handle your business here, take a little vial with you, and make sure you come back as a Mother Superior or as a Reverend Mother, or don't come back at all. And I'm like, bruh, the Reverend Mother is on another level, and it's dope to see how many levels she's on, because then later on, when we see, when we see Valia basically on the same hype, on the same level, it's like, okay, she is literally following in Mother R's footsteps. And I think it's fire. And then we see like those little girls in the back, but over here we see, boom, they're all looking at her and so distastefully, because they're like, yo, you couldn't go through with it. You're a coward. And it's like, bro, little do they know that they are real, they don't know who they talking to. They don't know who they talking to. Point blank and simple. And it was crazy just for Valia to go back and basically just be like, hey, sister, you did a good thing. Our brother will be proud. And she's like, would he be proud? And she's like, hell yeah, he'd be proud. If he's not proud, I'm still proud. You feel me? Like, who cares? And and her parents were furious. They're like, yo, what are you? And Valia, of course, standing on business as always. Bro, I did what y'all was too damn scared to do. And after Valia talks her shit, shows the voice to her parents, we get to see her vision after she takes the drops. And it basically just shows us all of her ancestors, something very similar to what we saw with the other young girl that is currently in the coma. But, it's a lot of similarities in what they see. And then her eyes are open, and then boom, she becomes a reverend mother at that point, I believe. And I just love that. I love that. And then Tula makes the idea. She's like, yo, we're going back. And then they have this beautiful heart-touching moment of all of the sisters saying goodbye to their sister, basically. And like, it's just very sad. It's very heartbreaking. But I love the way that OG here stands up for Tula and is like, yo, this is what's going on. Like, we know that we are willing to rest. The purpose of the sisterhood is for the majority of us to risk it all. So just some people can actually, continue on to be who they could be. That was just beautiful, yo. Again, very touching, very amazing, and I just love the way that it happens, yo. And then they do this beautiful moment where they all go up to her and show their love, and basically, they view her body and really show their respects as she goes from one plane to another type of vibe. And it was just very beautiful, very touching. I really did love it. I really loved this episode. I think this show is fantastic, for real. I think they did a really good job from start to finish. But then we end the episode with seeing Valia and her protege pull up to some tower high in the skies that we have no idea who it is. We have no idea what's going on. She obviously doesn't want to be there. She's furious to even be there. And then as she pulls up, the door opens, and then we find out she's at no one else's but her nephew's, aka also her father. And well, that's not her father. Her nephew is not her father, but her nephew and her father live together here, and we see the way that her father automatically welcomes her. You know what I mean? And her welcoming is a very unwelcome welcoming, as to be expected because of what's been going on. And I love the way that Pappy was just not having it, and the nephew was like, "It's all good. Come on, don't worry about Pappy. He be tripping." I love this show. I freaking love this show, and I have no idea what's going to happen next. For real. I mean, even in this episode, when Tula is walking from one place to another, it's so menacing, and you're like, what is she doing? Where is she going? Oh, she's going into the place that OG Mother showed the other one. Okay, she's walking through tunnels. Wait, she just plugged in some power core thingy. What the hell? Oh my god! Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. She's pulling some vision shit right now. You know what I mean? Like, she's basically trying to create vision. And I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know how this will continue to have ramifications throughout not just this season, but also the entirety of the Duniverse. But I sure am happy to see where it can go. I'm so excited. I really do love this show, and I really did enjoy this episode, and I hope you guys did too. Make sure you drop all your thoughts, theories, and questions in the comment section down below regarding Dune Prophecy Episode 3. If you would like to show your support for everything we do here at Marvel Bros, you can drop a super chat down below. And you can also drop a super thanks, super chat, any of those things that you want to. We definitely appreciate it. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. And make sure you let me know how you guys are feeling in the comment section down below.